Alright, another Group C match. We got Will versus FriMeka. If you'll notice, these games are kind of a round robin. Obviously, everyone can't play everyone in a round robin. That would take forever. So. Will's got a right-hand trigger again. FriMeka building pretty standard fair GTR. Doesn't have that chain finished up. We have a conversion into a 3-chain harassment. Will doesn't quite catch that. That's not going to be a perfect block off though. FriMeka is going to hit them with a 4-chain follow-up with the rest of the resources. But Will's going to dig down to the main chain, set the rest of that off, in with a 9. I'm going to take that.
Oh boy. Too bad.
I knew I'd win.
I like this song. Unfortunately, Will's going to need another blue on top of that yellow when they finish off the connection to their main chain in order for it to finish connecting back.
Awaken!
Will currently has 10.
Awaken! Planet power!
Using those blues and greens as an extension. FriMeka really wants a yellow to go there. Fortunately, the yellow's just not freaking coming.
Oh boy. Too bad.
I knew I'd win.
Man, imagine all clear opener in Puyo. You've heard of all clear opener in Tetris. Get ready for Puyo all clear opener.
Awaken!
It's a little silly.
Awaken! Awaken!
Mixes that extension. It's gonna want the yellow on top, then the reds to finish that off.
Awaken!
Unfortunately, didn't have time to clean that up fully.
Awaken!
FriMeka is gonna hit with the 5-chain follow-up to make it impossible for Will to respond.
Planet power!
Will eats that.
Impossible!
So I won, huh?
It's interesting that Will kind of builds their tail first. Unfortunately, it's not a complete tail because the blue is missing in column 5 or 6. Looks that blue in column 5 just as I say it.
Awaken!
Decides to set off their main chain. Extension's getting a little bit unwieldy. FriMeka also decides to set off their main chain. Extension's getting a little unwieldy. Will seems to have a little bit of a cut. FriMeka sends off an 11 and would have had an all clear with that purple. That double purple.
Huh?
In a pop. Unfortunate placement of that garbage for Will.
Awaken!
You have a
Planet power!
extension with 3-chain. The reds. Decides to set off a 7. FriMeka also has a 7.
Awaken! Planet power!
Will sets up a pretty powerful 2. It's not enough to fully block off FriMeka. They really want those blues open. Gets them.
How's that?
Will doesn't really have a ton of resources on the board to be able to respond. So they're just going to have to take that.
Impossible!
FriMeka
So I
takes
won,
that game. Kind of a back and forth between Will and FriMeka. By the way, I did open up the chain simulator to test that thing that I wanted to test. It worked. It worked the way I thought it would. It was cool. I'm sure Will doesn't really love those reds being in column 6. They're going to have to finish that off with a pair of greens, or they can set that 4 chain off as harassment. FriMeka gets the rest of their chain though, puts the reds right back, just so they can get the full extension on that. Still going to need some greens to finish off that last chain. Unfortunately, doesn't have enough greens, doesn't have enough time. FriMeka looking kind of dominant right now. Really looking for that all clear. Get something out of that. Not enough greens though. And not quite the right pieces in the right order. FriMeka does force Will to use their resources early, but Will has a 5 in comparison to FriMeka's 4. So that's going to do a lot of damage. Will going for a very risky extension. That might cost them. Another risky extension. Decides to set something off at the side. Bringing it all back. I'm sorry I ever doubted you, Will. Gonna set off that 8 with the yellows. No possible way for FriMeka to respond. It was a 9. My mistake. FriMeka has a very good top of the board 4 chain. Unfortunately, will do them no good as they are already at a disadvantage with that 8 chain response. Will plays risky. Not like me. I just play reckless. I think there's a difference. Working on that tail. Will's got a nice, neat little tail. Plus the blue extension with the blues. Decides to send off that front end chain. FriMeka also sets off the main chain as Will's chain is close to resolving. So it's to see, let's see whose 9 chain is stronger. FriMeka's 9 chain is stronger. Will's got a pretty fast response. Another risky extension. Hoping for those yellows. Hoping for those purples. Goes for it. Is able to get the 7, 8 with the damage. FriMeka also trying a very bold longish chain. Unfortunately, doesn't get it with the pieces that they had, the setup that they had. There's too much damage on the board for them to be able to, you know? Will ties it back up. We are now 4-4. Both players are adapting to each other pretty well. Will gets their first all clear for their all clear opener. FriMeka responds with the rest of their chain. 5 chain. Will actually has enough to be able to offset that offset with the all clear start that they got that FriMeka missed. However, they were just too high on that column 3. Just a really, really risky play. FriMeka is adapting a little bit to that early attack by opting to attack early. And then they get rewarded for that early attack with a lot of early damage, so they decide to do the follow-up, reap the rewards of that as well.
So I won.
Once again, FriMeka threatening to break away. Really itching for this Game 7. But you know, Puyo players don't really give their opponents Game 7s for free. Will's all-clear start strategy not really working out. Not this time, at least. Clean up into a nice, neat GTR on the right-hand side. Unfortunately, they're at a piece disadvantage. And FriMeka is going to set off a 3-chain for harassment. Will's going to clean up really quickly. Set off a 7. FriMeka also sets off their main chain. Unfortunately for Will, FriMeka's main chain was 1 link longer. And they had the pieces for a proper tail. Will has the pieces for a proper tail. Just 1 row of garbage stopped his tail from being able to properly connect. And FriMeka takes that. I'm not gonna lie, that game was really hype.